Was good, yo? In case you guys didn't notice, this is my first video back in a couple weeks. Over that little break that I took, we officially hit 2 years of posting on this channel. I want to just say thank you to all of you guys that has ever showed support on my YouTube. It really means a lot to me. And as a little bit of a celebration or a welcome back type of thing, I figured there's no team better to talk about than my New York Knicks. The last time I made a video on the Knicks, it was a few games after the OG Anunoby trade, and I was talking about how the team will look so good. There's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs since that moment, so I figured let's just talk about it. The Knicks are on a 4-game win streak currently, including wins against the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. Both of those games were real grinded out games that the Knicks were able to take over and really close out. And I feel like this right now is the first time the Knicks have really found their footing since the All-Star break. Obviously with the injuries and everything, it's been really rough on the Knicks, but now they look like they're back to that really solid and contending team. With only 14 games left for the Knicks in the regular season, it would really benefit them if they can continue this hot streak and really start to get the ball rolling again going into the playoffs. The bad thing about it, though, for the Knicks is the fact that OG Anunoby just re-injured his elbow that he just got surgery on. He sat out the game against the Golden State Warriors and is expected to miss the game against the Nuggets too. We don't know exactly when he'll be back after that. Hopefully it's just those 2 games. He'll get that elbow right and be back on track. And between that and the fact that Julius Randle still has no timetable to return, we don't even know if he is going to return this regular season or even in the playoffs for that matter. It's looking less and less likely that the Knicks will be fully healthy going into the playoffs, but that does not necessarily mean they will not make some noise in the playoffs. With Julius's status up in the air right now, I'm going to not really talk about him too much this video. Obviously, if he comes back, it's amazing for the Knicks, that he fills that hole at power forward because they are really small right now without him. He's an all-star this season, all-NBA candidate. I mean, he's not going to make it this year because of the missed games, but that's how highly of a level he was playing. Obviously, if he comes back for the Knicks somewhat healthy, it's going to be beneficial. I am more confident that OG Anunoby will be back healthy for the playoffs, though, and when he is playing, the Knicks are just a whole nother different team. When he plays for the Knicks, they are 15-2. When him and Jalen Brunson play, they are 14-1. Really, when he's on the court, like I said, it's just a completely different team. He is the absolutely perfect fit for the Knicks. He does everything that they need. Obviously, his defense is his calling card, and it has been amazing to watch him wreak havoc on opposing offenses under Tom Thibodeau. He is one of the most versatile defenders in the NBA, being that 6'7", 6'8" range in height with those super long arms allows him to either play up or play down because he has the foot speed to really just guard the perimeter on those smaller guards as well. He's averaging over 1.5 steals, over 1 block, the countless deflections that he gets per game. He legitimately just wreaks havoc on the defensive end. And then when you look on the offensive side as well, he's got the ability to stretch the floor for the Knicks and really space that out. He's shooting about 39% on his catch and shoot threes this season. And something that I haven't realized about OG until he has been on my team and I'm watching him every single game is he is a fantastic cutter. He knows exactly when to go into the open space and go to the rim, cut to the rim. He has been an amazing finisher as well. He is dunking everything with the Knicks. He's already up to 30 dunks in just 17 games for them. He's really just a fantastic puzzle piece fitting player for this Knicks team. Hopefully they can get him back for the playoffs. And while the Knicks have been waiting for their guys to get healthy, Jalen Brunson has been quietly putting on one of the best seasons we've seen from a Knick. If you haven't watched much Knicks games this season, what I'm about to say may come as a surprise to you, but Jalen Brunson has been a top 3 point guard this season. You have Shea, you have Luka, and you have Jalen Brunson. I've said it before that Jalen Brunson is one of the best scorers in the entire NBA, but now the numbers are starting to really back that. He's coming off of his last 2 games, both back-to-back 40-point games. He's like the 4th Knick ever to do that. This season also, he's averaging 27.6 points per game. That's 5th in the entire league. And it's one thing to just put up the scoring numbers. It's another thing to do it as efficiently and as diverse as Jalen Brunson. He's shooting 48% from the field, 40% from 3, 84% from the free throw line. He has elite efficiency all over the court, and he takes shots all over the court. A majority of his points come in the mid-range off the pull-up jump shot, just, get to his spots, raise above the defense, and go. He is also incredibly good in that floater range, whether it's a driving floater, just, the classic push shot like that, or if he stops, then hits with a pivot, up and under, pump fake, all those different moves, and then gets to his floater. Regardless, it's probably going in. And he showed us a little bit of it last year in the playoffs, but this season he has added the pull-up three-point shot to his arsenal, and he has been absolutely elite at it. It's not just the pull-up though, he can hit those, he can hit the catch and shoot, he can hit from the corner, he can hit off the screen, he can shoot any shot on the basketball court, and he can make any shot on the basketball court. He's a fantastic ISO scorer, but where he really gets his shots off is in the pick and roll. He's averaging over 11 points per game in the pick and roll, which is third in the entire league, only behind Luka and Trae Young, both guys that are known to be elite pick and roll players. Jalen Brunson has been nothing short of elite this season. He was a first-time All-Star earlier in the season. He's going to be a first-time All-NBA team member at the end of this season, and he has really been the main factor of why the Knicks have been able to keep themselves afloat throughout all these injuries. Of course, he isn't doing it all by himself though. Josh Hart has been on a whole nother level since the All-Star break. I think honestly he's been the Knicks' second best player throughout this stretch. In 13 games since the All-Star break, Josh Hart is averaging 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists on 43 minutes per game, including last game against the Warriors. He played all 48. I know there's the meme that Tom Thibodeau just runs his players into the ground, and I mean, if we're being honest with Josh Hart right now, he's kind of showing that. In the 13 games since the All-Star break, 12 out of the 13, he's played over 40 minutes, and that one game he played under 40 minutes, he played 39. Josh Hart doesn't seem to mind it though. That's the type of player he is, you know, that gritty, do whatever it takes type of mentality. That's exactly what he's showing right now, and that's the production the Knicks are getting from him, whether it's scoring one game, rebounding the next, playmaking the other one, playing defense. He is doing it all throughout there for the Knicks, and that is why Tibbs is kind of forced to play him these so many minutes. He really is one of the most versatile role players in the NBA. Even though he is just 6'4", he has had double-digit rebounds in 9 of the last 13 games, double-digit assists in 3 of the last 13 games. Obviously, the scoring is a little bit shaky for Josh, but he always seems to make the big shots, you know, whether it's a clutch 3 in the fourth quarter or just a coast-to-coast, you know, rebound layup that just kind of cuts the momentum of the other team. Whatever the Knicks need him to do, Josh Hart seems to always have the answer. And although the two podcast hosts are the biggest reasons for the Knicks' success, it has really been an all-around team effort and all of the different role players for the Knicks stepping up their production. I might as well start off by talking about the third Villanova guy, Donte DiVincenzo. He has been quietly one of the best three-point shooters in the entire league this season. He's on a little bit of a slump right now, but he has still been amazing throughout the year. He is third in total three-pointers made this season at 216, only behind Steph Curry and Luka Doncic. By the end of this season, he will have the record for the most threes made in a season for a Knicks player. DiVincenzo is just such an important player to this Knicks team. On offense, of course, he is their best volume three-point shooter, behind Jalen Brunson, I would say. But really just having that off-ball threat as a shooter really just opens up the whole court for the offense and for Jalen Brunson to really operate. Like I said, he loves to get to the paint, the mid-range. Without spacing, it makes it a lot harder, and DiVincenzo adds just that. He's shooting just under 40% from 3 this season, and when you move him to the corner, that bumps up all the way to 46%. He's a legit threat from anywhere on the court, though, whether that's just a normal catch and shoot, or if it's coming off a screen, an off-ball screen, a handoff. Whatever it is, Donte DiVincenzo is going to be a threat to shoot that ball. And then I do think he's also a pretty underrated defender. You know, he's not locked down or anything like that, but he is what I like to call a defensive playmaker. He'll get the deflection, he'll get a block here and there, he'll get the steal. He makes plays on the defensive side. And speaking of defense, Isaiah Hartenstein has been absolutely incredible for the Knicks, stepping up for Mitchell Robinson after he went down with an injury earlier this season. He has been, in my opinion, the most underrated player in the whole NBA, at least top 5. Hartenstein being down there anchoring the Knicks defense is a huge reason on why it's been so good this year. He leads the Knicks in a lot of defensive metrics, whether that's defensive rating or defensive box plus minus. He's first in both of those. Defensive win shares, he's second only behind Josh Hart. His impact is there, you know, whether it's blocking shots or steals, he averages over 1 per game in both of those categories. He can protect the paint, he can guard pick and roll, he's got active hands, strong body, great instincts, a lot of hustle. He is everything you want from your defensive-minded center, and the best part is he's pretty good on offense too. He's mostly used as a role man in the Knicks offense or sitting down there in the dunker spot. I mentioned before though, when talking about Jalen Brunson, he is a prolific pick and roll player, and Isaiah Hartenstein is a big reason for that, and he also benefits a lot from that. You know, he's a big body, sets that hard screen, he'll roll hard to the basket. Next time you guys watch Isaiah Hartenstein, look out for this little push shot that he does. I swear to God, he's like 80% on it since becoming a Knick. He is just automatic on that little shot right there. And then, of course, his biggest thing on offense, though, is his passing. He only is averaging 2.2 assists per game on the season. But when you watch, he just has a lot of really, really nice passes, whether it's off the rebound and, you know, just kind of kicking it out off the offensive rebound, or if it's on the short roll. You know, sometimes the Knicks even let him post up and play make out of that. He is a terrific passer for the center. And with all that being said, we haven't talked about his best quality, and that is his rebounding. He is a terrific rebounder, especially when you talk about offensive rebounding. He's averaging 8.5 rebounds per game, and over 3 of those are offensive rebounds, just giving the Knicks countless second chance possessions on offense. He is just a super impactful player. He will do whatever it takes. He's kind of like everything I was saying about Josh Hart. He's like that, but just in a bigger body. And Tom Thibodeau must really be just the big man guru, because backing up Isaiah Hartenstein now is Precious Achiuwa, coming over from the OG trade, and he has been looking like a completely different player since coming from the Knicks. He, like Isaiah, has been a terrific rebounder, a great defender, really versatile there. He can guard on the perimeter, but still guard down low as well. He's been used a little bit as center, a little bit as power forward, just overall, and his front court production, he has been amazing for the Knicks, so shout out to Precious. If you guys watched the Warriors versus Knicks game the other night, you will definitely know this next name, Deuce McBride, Miles McBride. If you don't know his name, you better learn it, because he has been amazing for the Knicks ever since they traded away Emmanuel quickly. He just steps up in that backup point guard position and gives them a whole lot of production. Defense has been Deuce's calling since coming into the NBA. You know, he got drafted to the Knicks in the second round to be a point of attack defender, and that's kind of what got him his minutes this season after they traded IQ. He filled that void, going on there playing defense. He was just playing some great defense on Steph Curry last night. He's a little bit undersized, only being about like 6 foot, maybe 6'1", but he makes up with that with heart, hustle, and tenacity. What has been the reason that he has stayed on the court, though, for Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks is his jump in three-point production. Last season, Deuce shot under 30% from 3. This season, he is shooting over 41% from 3. That is over a 11% increase in back-to-back years. That is an insane jump. I don't even know how that's fathomable. He truthfully is like a 3-and-D point guard type of guy. You don't really look for him to run your offense, but he can if needed. Mainly though, he's gonna knock down 3-point shots, and he's going to defend his ass off. So if you were to ask me what I realistically expect for the Knicks with the rest of this season going, I do expect that OG Anunoby will come back for the playoffs. Julius Randle, I'm a little shaky on. I'm not entirely sure. They haven't announced anything, but I don't really expect him to be back, and I don't expect him to be back fully healthy and fully productive. So with that being said, you know, when they are healthy, I think the Knicks were a dark horse championship contender. I think they could have maybe made it to the finals. Now, I'm tampering my expectations a little more. Regardless of health, you put this Knicks team in the playoffs right now, I think they are easily winning their first round matchup. The second round matchup is going to be very, very tough. You know, without all of their guys, it's going to be damn near impossible to beat the Celtics or the Milwaukee Bucks or the Cavs. But you never know when it comes to Jalen Brunson. The good thing for the Knicks, though, is they have their core intact. A lot of the guys I talked about in this video are under contract for the next few seasons for the Knicks. Isaiah Hartenstein isn't, OG Anunoby isn't, Precious Achiuwa isn't, but OG and Isaiah Hartenstein, I am pretty confident that they will be back for the Knicks next season. They still have draft assets and capital to make a big splash trade this coming off season. I didn't even talk about the trade they made during the trade deadline of Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. Both of those guys have been very poor for the Knicks, but maybe they'll start to get some rhythm and they can add to the depth of this Knicks team. The Knicks are in a very, very good position. It does suck that they went through all of these injuries and everything right when they were looking like one of the top teams in the NBA. but they are still in prime position to move forward. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's good to be back. This was the longest break I have ever taken from posting videos since I started 2 years ago. So, I really am happy to be back. If you're still watching at this point of the video, comment down below, welcome back, and I'll know you're still here. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch y'all.